Hello, how are you today? Things look to be going well. All right, I think I'm all set up. Just waiting for somebody to come on and take a look. I'll wait a few seconds, and then if nobody comes, we'll go on without them. Today, we are going to be using something from the new catalog, the Quiet Meadow bundle. Hey Tina, good to see you today. Are you going to be going to the quarterly, Tina? Okay, well, I think that I will go ahead and start. Hi, Faith. Good to see you. You really live up to your name. You are faithful. You and Tina are both faithful to me. I appreciate it. Today, we're going to be using the Quiet Meadow stamp set and the Meadow dies. And these are in the brand new catalog. The catalog looks just like this. We can't open it up and show you the inside. I can tell you that this stamp set is on page 110, but I just can't show you that page. These dies are interesting. They're really are not dies that go so much with the stamp set. They're just a little bit different. And so there are a lot of this is my favorite right here. There are a lot of just dies of flowers and things like that. And I thought, what do I do with these? And so I've been working with them. I'm just going to show you two simple things today, but I've been making a bunch of cards with these, and they are so much fun, and I'll be showing them as time goes on. Hi, Jean. Good to see you. Yes, Tina, I'm going. I'm not sure if I'm going to spend the night or not, but I am going to go. Okay, the first card that I'm going to make, we're going to be doing a version of this card, and this is using the True Love Designer Series paper, and this paper is in the mini January-June catalog. And it's here on page 11. Now, Stampin' Up! Has changed when they're doing their catalogs just a little bit, and so I have to remind myself, and I'm going to remind you, that even though we have a new annual catalog coming out on May 4th, I believe it is, May 4th, this mini catalog is good until the end of June. So when I was thinking of culling out some of my stuff that is going to retire, I started thinking about these papers, and I realized we still have a couple months with these papers. I'm glad too, because I've got a lot left. So don't forget that the things in the January-June catalog are good until the end of June. That's June 30th. So let me get started with this card, and I made this one with the Designer Series paper I told you about. True, what did I say it was? True Love, I believe. But anyway, after I made it, I thought, well, why didn't I use one of the new in colors to make this card? So I think we're going to change it up. We're going to bring in, instead of the pool party that I had used with this sheer ribbon, which is going to be carried over, we're going to bring in the polished pink and that ribbon, and we'll see how what we end up with on this card. So I'm going to pull in the pieces. Thank you, Tina. And I've already cut out a lot of the shapes. Most of you know how to cut. So I'm going to set these aside, but here is the one that we're going to be using on this card. Isn't that beautiful? I just love those. And we'll be putting one on the inside and one on the outside. So I'm going to move this to the side, and this paper is cut to fill the front of the card. So the card base is 4 1/4 by 11, and it is scored at 5 1/2. And so I'm just going to glue this on. So let me find, I moved my glue. Let me find it here. Try to move things to think that maybe they'll be a little more convenient, but then you forget you moved them. So I'm going to try to add this without getting glue all over me. So I'm going to, I should have burnished that with my bone folder first. Okay. What I usually do is look at this corner. I've gotten to where I really love to fill up the page. It's, if you're trying to do a class, it's not a very smart way to make a card. It's better to cut it at 4 by 5 1/4 so that the paper will go further. But I'm going to, get my bone folder out here and burnish that. And then, well, that fits pretty good on there. So I did use some of the other new dies to cut out this piece right here. And this is the Scalloped Contours dies. And I used this third one in. So these are pretty much all rectangles. They do go with a stamp set, but I did not bring that into this room. But this one has the scalloped edges and then the stitching around the inside. I'm not sure you can see that so well from this camera. But these are all interesting little rectangles. This one has the scallops, open scallops around. This has the dots all the way around the inside. This has the stitching. This one has like a long line, a dot, a long line, a dot. And then these have the little dots. They're pretty interesting. And then there's also a scallop that would fit across your card. So these are nice too. And then these two fit the images that are on that stamp set. So anyway, I've got this. And I had planned on making the other card first, but it's going to mess up my paper back here. And I thought, you know, that's kind of crazy to do the messy one first. So I have pulled out, hi Beth, how are you? I've pulled out, this is the foam adhesive sheets. They do come in a larger size. Here's a package that shows you the size of what they come in. I'm not exactly sure now how many sheets come in one, but I have cut the backing for the next card already for this, and I thought, well, I'll just use this on this card. So what I'm going to do is, instead of using a whole bunch of dimensionals, I'm just going to use this sheet. It's not going to go down in the middle. It's going to stay just where it needs to. And I think I might kind of go over here to the side, and maybe I'll use some of these scraps I've got in here to fill out that. This one. But I just cut that on, I've got one of the old guillotine cutters that I still use a lot, and that's what I used to cut it with. I guess our other cutter would do it, or that we have that small little trimmer also. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this, well actually I'm going to wait. It reminded me of a mistake I made before. So I'm going to wait and put the flower on before I put it onto the card. So here is my dilemma when it comes to all of this. I'm trying to find a scrap piece of paper while I'm talking to you guys. Hold on just a moment. In my opinion, Stampin' Up! Does not have a good alternative to use for intricate taping or intricate gluing. They have the fine tip glue thing, but if you look in the new catalog, it's not in there. And I think you could still get it online, because I don't think they formally retired it, but I've just never had luck with that. I'm going to use today the two-way glue pen, sorry. This has been retired several years. I ordered several. This is my last one. It's about gone. So this is what I'm going to use to glue this. I put it on a scrap sheet so I wouldn't get it on my base down here because it's messy that way. So I'm going to add the flower. And because I did it before on this one, I don't know if you can tell, I ended up having to just cut it straight there. But now I can kind of try to go with the scallops a little bit on that. Maybe not perfect, but maybe it'll be all right. Okay, so now I've got the flower on, and I'm going to add a butterfly over in here. Nope, over in here. So I think I can glue that without getting it way over in the edges. So I've got my butterfly here. And now I'm going to go ahead and pull off this backing. Actually, I'm going to change something. Because I had done the backing so early on this card, I ended up taking my ribbon all the way around. But I think that I can just bring it around this part. Now, you notice I never do a bow on camera. So what I'm going to do is, well, my glue dots are gone. No, there they are. I'm going to put a glue dot here. And go around. Actually, I'm going to have to pull those off and go around. Well, I feel like I'm probably off the screen. I never said I was coordinated. It's been the bane of my existence. Okay, so I'm going to add a little blue dot here. I know somebody's laughing and thinking, why is she doing it that way? But okay, now we've got that. And I'm going to put this hopefully in the center of the card. And then I am going to bring in my bow tire. And we'll do a bow. Oops. So this is the new in color polished pink. I want it to be something else so bad, and I'm not going to say it out loud because I'm having a hard time it not being that. So this is polished pink, And I'm not a pink person, but here we go. And I'm going to put this here, and no, that doesn't look good, but we're going to add our little tag to that. Now, this is one of the stamps in the stamp set, Quiet Meadow, and there is a die right here that cuts out this little tag. So I'm going to put a piece of a dimensional on the tag, and I'm just going to put it kind of up in there. Probably should put it down and then the bow there. So there we go. There's the pink. What do you think? You like the pink or the blue? If you know me, you're going to know I would say the blue. Okay, and I don't think I got that in the middle. Do you ever feel that way after you get it all glued down? Well, I don't think I'm going to be able to move it very much. So we'll leave it as is. So I'm going to come back. I just thought that needed a little bit more, and so I chose to color in a couple of the flowers around the outside. Now it'd be easier probably to do it beforehand, but that wasn't how I rolled. So I'm just going to pick a couple, and I'm going to color them in the lighter color. And then I'm going to come back with the darker color and just make a few little highlights. I'm not even going to try to be careful with that because it's already got the dark on the stamp. But I thought it might add a little. And I'm not even going to go back and do anything more with that. And then I'll just pick another flower. Oops. I think I went way out of lines over here. Let's just do that. Yeah, that'll work. And so I'll bring back in the dark and just make a few lines here and there. Don't even know if I need to do that. Okay. And then I think on this one I did 5 flowers, but I'm not so sure this one needs that many. I'm going to go back up here. No, I want the light one. And I'll just add another flower in there. Okay, what are you thinking? Do you like that? Do you like the pink? It would probably look better if I had colored in the lines a little bit better. Okay, I think I'll leave it at that. So there's the outside. Let's look at the inside of this card. And it says, heartfelt love and caring thoughts are with you. So I have to make a little confession. When I put this the labels on the stamp set, I don't know what was wrong with me, but I just went all wacky. And in fact, I was sitting there thinking, I probably should do a video on how to put these stickers on these stamps. And you can see, you can look at this one, you can see I got a wrinkle in there. And one other stamp, I'll show you in just a minute. One other stamp has, oh, I didn't bring them all in, but one other stamp has words that are all there. And I started stamping with it yesterday, and they're all upside down. And then there's a big flower stamp in there, and I just looked away for a second, and it's half hanging off. I don't know what to do about it. Do you know how to get the stickers off of stamps? Because it's when you start pulling on it, it starts pulling up the foam with it. These are super sticky, and they're better than when they didn't stick. But now my sister thought that I could put it in the microwave for a few seconds, but I haven't tried that yet. That was just yesterday. I don't think you could put it long. I remember back when we used wooden stamps, we would, to get the stamp off of the wood, later we wanted to go to the clear stamps, we would then use the microwave, a few seconds in the microwave to get those stamps off. So I might try it. I don't think it could be any worse than it is. And I can still use it, of course. It just doesn't look very good. I'll take that little piece off. Okay, so we are ready to put this inside the card. And this first one will be done. Okay, and while I'm gluing this down, let me remind you that if you use this host code this month and you order $50 worth of product, then I'm going to mail you a sampler of Designer Series paper. And hold on, I'll bring that in just a minute. Okay, I'll play with that in a little while and get that little bit extra off of there. I think I'm making it worse. I am, so we'll work on that a little bit later. But anyway, here is that card. Here's the sampler. They are not all the same, but it's about 25 pieces of Designer Series paper. Some is the specialty paper. It varies on what's in there, and some are just about to retire, and some retired with the last mini catalog. So they're cut to 4 by 5 1/4. So you could get about 25 card fronts out of theirs. I think that's a pretty neat thing. Just use the host code and I'll be happy to send that to you. Okay, I'm going to put that out of the way. And we will pull out the other card that we're going to make. Let me get all the pieces for that out here. And the card that we're going to make is this one. Now, just using the outline of these flowers is the tip of the iceberg. These really have a lot of uses, and I have been doing cards using the blends to color the flowers. I've used the blending brushes and ink to color the flowers, and it's been a lot of fun. I have not done watercolor paper yet, but I know that you could do that too and then cut those out. So really I've got some beautiful cards that I've made. So we'll be doing this one. Thank you, Beth. I'm glad you like the black and white paper. I do too. I love it. So okay, let's get started. Here's again our base is going to be the black, basic black, 4 1/4 by 11 and scored at 5 1/2. So I've got that ready, and Okay, trying to find that bone folder. I didn't put it back where I got it, so there we go. And for this one, we are going to be using a piece of basic white, and this is cut at 4 by 5 1/4. And this is where the messy comes in. So we're going to be using 3 colors for our background here. We'll be using Calypso Coral, Pool Party, and Melon Mambo. So I'm going to set those over here. Let me move some of this out of the way. I do have most of our stuff cut, but one thing I'm going to have to cut. And we'll go ahead and put the color on here. And we'll be using our blending brushes to do that. And I'm going to start with Pool Party. Now Stampin' Up! Has blending brushes that come 3 in a pack. They are on back order right now, but I just looked before I went on live, and I think there's have April 19th is listed. Although you can't really go by that so much because there are large shipping problems over our globe, over our world. So it's kind of hard to depend on some of that. This is an older brush that I got. I think it might be a makeup brush, or not sure. But because this is my lighter color, I'm going to start with it. And I'm just going to kind of start from the side of the paper. I like the blending brushes a lot because they're just smoother to me than what I could get with the sponge daubers. After Stampin' Up! Changed to these foam pads a couple of years ago, I just couldn't get blending that looked really, really good. So it would have a lot of streaks and stuff like that in it. So anyway, I'm glad to have these. And I do think that these are better than the sponges, although the sponges are retiring. Funny thing about the sponges, when my granddaughter Sagan was here last, she saw that sponge that was in the paper pumpkin, and she wanted to have the sponge. And so, of course, she got the sponge, and she kept that thing with her the rest of the time that she was here. She wanted to have, she played with that sponge. She pretended she was cleaning, and she had a good time with that. And she, can I take this home with me? Well, sure, you can. When we went there yesterday, that sponge was laying there. So I think she must still play with it some. So that was Calypso Coral. And now I'm going to add some Melon Mambo to that. And it really doesn't matter how you add all of this. Oops, I'm going to try to blend that into the blue there a little bit better. Turn this around. Okay, and it looks like something has dripped on my cardstock right there. I don't know what, but we will just keep going. Okay, so that's just a background that's colored. I love the blending brushes. It's been a long time coming. I'm glad they're finally here. Okay, now what I'm going to do next is bring in a spritzer, and in this spritzer I just have some water. So I'm just going to spritz. I have a hard time knowing which way it's going to go. I'm just going to spritz that a little bit. I meant to bring in my heat brush, but I didn't. So while that is drying, and you can see it's just taking up a little bit of the color and adding a little bit of interest to that. I forgot to do that to this card. So I wanted to be sure and remember to do it for this one, because it's an easy way to add a little bit of interest to the card. Well, Faith, thanks for coming this little bit of time. I appreciate it, and I hope you will watch later. Have a good day. So we're ready now to add our pieces to the card, our black pieces. So I have, see if I can get them apart here. I have this one, and I have another one like that that's going to go on the inside, and then I have these, so, and then I have the butterflies that are going to go on here. So we'll get started with putting those on. Let me find my glue pen. Did I see any suggestions for good fine gluing things to use? I don't think I did. Okay, so I'm going to glue that down. I probably should have done the one in the middle first, but I'm going to, oops, there's a little piece of paper there. Okay, so I'm going to do this about in there. And I'm trying to glue all of the surfaces pretty good on those. So now we'll work on this one. I'm really liking the things in the new catalog. I haven't had as much time to work as I have wanted to. I've worked mostly with this stamp set. But I've had a lot of fun with it. Okay, so we're going to go up here. Now what I'm going to try to do is kind of run this stem over on this stem, so maybe it won't be noticed as much. And then we'll do our glue on the back of this. Hey Susan, thank you for saying the background is pretty. Did you see me do it? It was pretty fast, actually. So now I'm going to add this down here, and some of that's getting glued on top of each other, but it's okay. And then we'll put a butterfly. I'll have to put this one because of the way it's facing over here. And then I'll put this one. Yeah, the glue I'm using you can't get anymore, so I try not to use stuff you can't get, but sometimes. All right, so now we have all of our parts on here, and I'm going to turn this over and trim this off of the bottom. Susan, the brushes are on back order right now, but there's thinking they'll be in by the 19th of April, so we'll have to see. But the brushes are fantastic. Now this is the scallop contour dies that I'm going to use, and I've picked one that I'm going to cut this out. So I have my cutting machine. I'm going to step aside. I'm not going to bring it in, but I'm going to step aside and cut this out. I'll be right back. You can look at this card while I'm over here Let me also remind you that I'm doing a paper share while you're just sitting there with nothing to look at or hear. And this is going to be for the new catalog. And I'll do the new Designer Series papers as option 1. I'll do the Color Family 6x6 papers as option 2. And then the both options together would be option 3. And for more information on that, it's on my newsletter that I sent out. There's a link for more information, or just go to lovetocreate.typepad.com and keep scrolling down until you come to the paper share, and all the info will be there. So I've taken this outside part and glued around the outside, and so now I'm going to put that down on the card. And then for this piece, I'm going to bring in again that foam adhesive sheet. And this one I've cut to fit the back of this. And it really takes less time than doing all of those dimensionals. And I know it's not going to have places where it's dipping down. Okay. Now I'm going to bring in another new product. This is the Baker's Twine Essential Pack. And we're going to be using the black Baker's Twine on this. And I'm going to pull this off. You know, I had problems last time, but we'll do it again. And I'm just going to get the end of this, and I want it to come across about like this. So really just have to do that. I don't even have to bring it around to the front. That's what I should have done on the other card, huh? And then we'll be able to put this right in the hole. Right in the hole we made. And then everything lines back up again. Okay? Now, we have a label. This is one of the stamps in the Quiet Meadow stamp set. And let me show you the whole set again real quick. So I didn't bring all the stamps in. But it's really a nice set. This is the one that I put the sticker on upside down. Okay, and this die is part of these Meadow dies. It's this one right here. So I used that. I just stamped it, and then I cut it where the words were more over to the right of this. And so I'm going to add this to the card. Now, I had a little bit of the foam adhesive sheet left. And what I'm going to do is add this to this card. So I'm going to add it across the top and across the bottom. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I have the twine that's going through the middle. And this will make sure that everything lays flat, lays just the right way. So I will put that on. And then I need a black bow with my twine. I didn't make that ahead of time. I had a hard time figuring out what to do for today. If you have any ideas of things that you would like to see, if you would let me know, I would see if I can maybe make that happen. I'm certainly not an expert, but I do a couple of things. There we go. Alrighty, I'm going to pull that off, and just rolled up a glue dot. I'm going to put that behind there and just add that to my tag. I kind of like those hanging out there. And then one of the things that's carrying over to the new catalog are these matte black dots. So I thought, well, I'll just use some of those on this card. And let me bring my tool picker. And I'm just going to add a couple of these dots. And I'm using the smaller ones because I'm thinking about mailing and that kind of thing. So there's the outside of that card. And for the inside, it's going to be just about like the one that we did a few minutes ago. So I'm going to stamp the same saying. Heartfelt love and caring thoughts are with you. And I do have it on my block. Oh my goodness, I made a mess. I do have it on my block a little bit crooked. Okay, we'll try it on the back. We'll hope. Straight down, no wobbling. It is a little crooked, but it doesn't have that little line around it. Okay, so we will bring in our little scrap sheet again, and I will color, or not color, I will put some glue over this. I know this is almost gone. Okay. And this is not the same flower that I used on the other one, but it doesn't matter. They're all beautiful. So there we are with that. And I'll add, here's my butterfly. And we'll trim this off. Oops. Something fell in the trash. It was a set of scalloped contoured eyes, but I will get those out. They will be saved. Okay. Well, hello, Gay Presnell. How are you? Gail, I mean. All right, we'll add this to the inside of the card. And we are done with the 2 cards for today. So this one, I made it pretty much the same as the first one, but I added the water spritz to the second one that we did today. I like that little bit of interest in there. What do you think? And then for the other card that we did, we used the True Love Designer Series paper, and the one I had to start with to show you was in Pool Party, but we decided to try the Polished Pink, one of the end colors, and see how that went. So those are our cards for today. And we are using the Meadow dies along with the Quiet Meadow stamp set. And we also used the Scalloped contour dies. We used this one to cut the center out of that card, and actually to cut the center from this one. So there you go. Some of the new products, and I'm excited. There's some great stuff in our new catalog. I can't wait for you to get it in your hands. And if you are, I put some in the mail today. If you are local to me, I ask that you come and pick them up. If you just let me know. I sent out a bunch of emails yesterday telling you that you have a catalog here. And so I want you to come get them. I want you to have them in your hands. I want you to see all the goodness that's in there. Okay? I think that's about it. If you would share this video, I would just appreciate it so much. And if you need anything, if you would go to lovetocreate.typepad.com and use the host code here, if you spend $50, you will get a sampler of 25 sheets of designer series paper, 4 by 5 1/4. Susan, I have one of these for you. I should have given it to you at class Monday, but I forgot, or Sunday, but I forgot. But I have one for you. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful rest of the day, and just go stamp something. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.